So this climb became known to me. I was personally invited by David Lippiett, who leads We International. He invited me to consider being part of a group of men that would raise funds and awareness for gender-based violence by climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. So I love to climb. I'm also passionate about being a father of 3 daughters. And I became aware, I did some reading and research of what is happening in the world when it comes to gender-based violence. And I'll share a little bit about that. I'll start off by saying, and just Genesis chapter 1, just to be reminded, God created us in His own image. He created mankind in His own image. Male and female, He created them. And so we begin tonight just being reminded of the value and the worth, the infinite value and worth that God has placed on every human being. No matter where they're born, no matter their gender, their background, no matter what has happened to them, God loves them. And so we begin with that, with Genesis. And then we jump to James chapter 1, verse 27, where we are told specifically as a mandate to the church to take care of 2 specific groups of people. One is the orphan and one is the widow. And I asked myself, why those 2 groups of people? And it may be that those are 2 groups of people, as you serve and as you give, they cannot repay you. And it's a generosity that is unconditional as we give and as we serve. You're never more like Jesus than when you give and when you serve. Gender-based violence, which is what the climb was raising funds and awareness for, can cover any number of specific areas. One is rape can be used as a weapon of war. In Congo, country in Africa, one of the worst places in the world to be a woman, rape is often used as a weapon of war. In fact, stats say that 1 out of every 3 women in the nation of Congo has physically been raped. Prenatal selection, female genital mutilation, date rape, bride burning, trafficking, bride kidnapping, just to name a few. I could share some others with you. I was in India back in 2015, and there's something that's sweeping the nation of India called acid burning. Where women are being, acids being thrown on women who are causing, by speaking up and saying that they were raped, their acid is thrown on them. So evil exists in the world, right? And it's being shown here. And stats worldwide say 1 out of 3 women will experience some kind of physical assault in their lifetime. That's not acceptable as a follower of Jesus. For the church to hear that and see that and be aware of that, to stand up and say, yeah, that's wrong, that's not right. Again, every person has infinite value and worth. And so it was an opportunity. This climb was an opportunity to, again, raise awareness and raise funds. One of the books that I read was not written by a believer, so I just want to get that out there. New York Times columnist, but he provided statistics on what is happening around the world. Half the sky. And if anybody wants to know more about this, I encourage them to read Half the Sky. I don't agree with the conclusions of the book, but just being aware of the stats. Let me just read a couple of them, and I'll talk specifically about the climb. These are coming from the book, which is quoting some United Nations statistics. More girls were killed in the last 50 years precisely because they were girls than all the men in the wars of the 20th century. More girls in this routine genocide are killed than all people slaughtered in all the genocides of the 20th century. Women aged 15 to 44 are more likely to die or be maimed from male violence than cancer, traffic accidents, and wars combined. This is not just a women issue. This is a global issue. any more than the Holocaust was a Jewish issue or civil rights was an African American issue. This is an issue for us all to be aware of, and thank you for your support. The funds that were raised went to fund a hospital in the Congo that was sponsored by the Pansy Foundation. There's a doctor there who was a pastor who's now become a doctor, and he performs fistula surgeries. And if you're not aware what a fistula is, for women who've been brutally attacked and assaulted and raped, it's a hole which causes waste to leak from the body. And this occurs in, estimates say 3 million women have fistulas, and they are bedridden. Oftentimes they're cast out of the family. They spend 5-6 years in a hostel, and they're abandoned to die. Now just imagine yourself suffering with that. A horrible, horrible evil. And here comes the church to be able to provide for $500 a fistula operation to heal these women, help them meet, know, and follow Jesus, and have life afterwards. It's a beautiful picture of the church showing up and providing hope to these women. So that's kind of the why behind a climb. Why would I go climb a mountain and cause worry on my dad and my family? So combining my passion to climb and be active along with this invitation that God was asking me to do.